Okay, right. Yeah, I just finished doing a little update on my phone, and I said in the update I'd try using the GoPro. Yeah, again, hasn't been used in absolutely ages. Basically because of lack of money. That's the first thing. I've had nowhere to stay, nowhere to edit. You know, I've been homeless. You know, but I've been living, you know, quite well. You know, in hostels and then cheaper in St Helens last week, which is pretty cool. Yeah, hello. Yeah, so yeah, basically, I'm just going to test out the camera, see what it's like. Because this is the second camera. The first one I lost to cash converters along with lots of other stuff. 2 days ago, because I hadn't until then to get things out, and that included my other GoPro. Yeah, but I can, you know, I've got nothing to, as I said, I've got nothing to edit on anymore because they took my MacBook Pro as well. So I've got no computer. But what I can do is get a new phone better than the one I showed you before. In fact, I'm not going to get it out of my pocket now, but it is just full of cracks, and you cannot use that to edit on because that's part of how the program works. It can't work with a cracked screen. Yeah, so yeah, okay. Just happened to be on the banks of the Mersey. Let's go for a little ride just for a few minutes. Yeah. I think that the way this works, it will break things up into about 10 or 11 minute segments, so we could only run for about another 8 minutes or so, 8 or 9 minutes. Okay, so here we go. I don't know exactly where I am. This place is called the Spinnakers. It's kind of beyond Garston, going towards Egbers. Yeah, okay, here we go. Well, that was a good start, wasn't it? And go straight into the fucking river there. Yeah, find the way out. The microphone's not working either, so there's no point in trying to plug that setup in, because the actual microphone has disappeared. It must have snapped off somewhere, so I'll have to buy a new microphone. So that's why you've got wind noise, because it means I've got to keep the visor up for you to hear what I'm saying, and of course that includes naturally. Oh, hang on, what the fuck? I think this is not a school promenade, and if it is, then can we go anywhere? It is our school park and promenade. Okay, well, no problem with that, except that. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we can ride along here. It's okay. I just thought it was kind of pedestrians only. Right, hang on. Car park. Very nice, but how do we get out of here? Well, it's nice to see some nice spring activity here. No kites out. Remember, I used to have my kite out here in the 1960s, well, I'm showing my age now, 1969, 1970, as a small child. Hasten to add, small child. I used to come here with a kite, and yeah, and then if the weather was bad, I used to sit in a car with my family, and it was like kind of sick with Benson and Hedges or whatever it was. No, it was number 6 mainly, but yeah, just cigarette smoke. Yeah, with the windows up, just down very slightly. If just to let a little bit of the smoke out, so you didn't technically actually choke. That was in the winter months, so you know my memories of this area aren't really that brilliant. But also I found our school itself, you know, the promenade, to be quite depressing. Sorry, I'm just wondering where I am, where to go. Okay, I'm going to take a left to the end of this road. Saw a little bit of the river there, didn't we? And it's a 20-mile-an-hour limit, which isn't much good to test in the bike, is it? Because, well, for the better explain, probably needs an air filter clean, and certainly needs some electronic attention with the lambda sensor, but Yeah, what happens is the engine light keeps coming on, and the way to get rid of it is to give it gas. So if I accelerate, then that will get rid of the engine light, which is what tells me that the fuel mixture is incorrect. You know, the computer, the the CPU can see that, so it tries to accommodate the situation. That's what it's there for. The lambda sensor is meant to do that, and the result is that it says, hey, there's something wrong. It might be just a very slight little problem, but of course you see an engine light, you don't know what it is. You know, it could be a big thing, could be a small thing. You don't even know what the fucking thing is unless you scan it. You've got to scan the engine while the light is on, otherwise, you know, it's a fucking joke really when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, you'll get there in the end. That light's on so much that it shouldn't be difficult to if I just ride around near a dealership where they can test it, it won't be long before the light comes on. Okay, this is Exit Road. Yeah, I've got to watch my indicators, they're broken as well. Well, they kind of work, that's a bit complicated as well. I'm not going to explain it now, but the left one's okay, the right one isn't. Good to have a back brake again, I tell you. It's really good to have a double brake. Yeah, I've got to get my teeth sorted out as well. But I need need about 400 quid for that. All money. Check this to see if this recording's okay. So I'm testing the camera, don't forget. And also, ta-da, yep, works. Brake is working, well, as you see, rear brake is now working. Just about, but it's working. Wasn't working at all for the whole of the last week, and it was really quite daunting, I've got to say. I don't know how, you know how it feels. I mean, I'll tell you what happened recently, just before I go off, before I go offline. I was riding around Old Swan, and I go head on into the side door of a car that was right in front of me. The woman was all apologetic with her body language, but I was delivering, so I thought, fuck this, and I just rode on. I should really have taken her name and number, because there might have been, I mean, if there was any damage to her car, it made no fucking difference because it was her fault. But I didn't realise that, you know, I should have checked to see my forks were alright. There could have been damage to the forks or anything. Okay, yeah, right, I'm not going into there, I don't think. Am I allowed in there? I don't know. Am I allowed in there? What do you think? I'll tell you what, I've got to go anyway. Got to go because it's going to go onto the next unit of recording. Okay, cheers. Right, see you later.